there. Va'atzia sho'el, if you go down, Australia, Hineka, Hashem is there too. So there's no running away from Hashem. There's no running away from Hashem. And I always heard about Chabad in Hawaii, and I always heard about Honolulu, but now I see the Mesek Shemayim Shamata. Even in the other end of the world, there's shiurim, there's davening. It's a chumus. Okay, now that I said davening is shiurim, you said chumus. So let's talk a little about the chumus. Rabbi Krasnansky,
half of us.
Rabbi Krasnansky mentioned that today is the Chag. Today is the Chag Geula from the previous Rebbe. There is a famous teaching from the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov says that Hayamim ha'elam diskarim v'nasim. All the Yom Tovim. Let's take even Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. When you sit down by the Seder and you're celebrating Pesach, what is your excitement? Is there matzah? Is the matzah balls? Or are you reliving the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim? So the pasuk says Hayamim by Purim. It says Hayamim ha'ela. All these days that the story of Purim, Nizkarim, get remembered. V'nasim. It's replay. There's a Haman today. There's a Paroi today. There's the Am Yisrael that's fighting Paroi. There's the Am Yisrael that's fighting Haman. Masha Avar. It keeps on turning. The Olam is a Galgal HaChayzer. It's not a story of the old. You're not reading a storybook. Oh, there was a Moshe Rabbeinu. There was a Mordechai. Today we are reliving that story. And if you read,
Masha Haya.
Masha Haya, Lo Rak Haya, Masha Haya, Mamshich, Otor Davar. The Baal Shem Tov says it's not a different story. It's not even a different story. The same exact story is replaying itself. And
one says Masha Haya,
yeah.
Oh. I remember something.
Yeah, what's the song? Which song is that?
Anyways, so now when you hear that there's a Chag HaGeula, many of us never knew about the Frierdiker Rebbe. Many of us that were never in Russia. So what are we sitting here and celebrating? I know there's hummus and all that. So it's not the hummus that's exciting. What's exciting is I have an uncle. I'm sure Richard knows who my uncle is. My uncle actually needs a refuah shalema, Rabbi Yosef Rosenfeld. Rabbi Yosef Rosenfeld from Alberta. He's my uncle. I always say this story, and I just repeated this story to him a couple of weeks ago. I said, Veter Yassel, Veter means uncle. Uncle Yassel, you should know I say this story to all my students. And he if you know him a little, he's a very level guy, and he doesn't have a filter. He says it as it is. So I say to Rabbi Yassel, I want to tell you, I heard a story about you, that he's very frum, and he would daven every day in Empire Stiebel and Lefferts Stiebel in Crown Heights. He's now about 90 now. Daven every day in Lefferts Stiebel, and one day is Tes Adar, the 9th day of Adar, and the Chazan is davening, and they're about to say Tachnun. He gives a bang on the table, no Tachnun. Now you look in the back of the books, it doesn't say Tes Adar. Tes Adar is a special, personal holiday, but it doesn't say it's one of the days not to say Tachnun. I'm never going to get there. So he says, they say, what's this all about? He says, Tes Adar is the day the Frierdiker Rebbe, this Rebbe who was freed from prison, came to America. So what? She says, let me tell you, I'm an American boy. I'm a Yankee. I was born in America. If the Frierdiker Rebbe was not freed, and the Frierdiker Rebbe did not make it to America, I personally would have not been a Frum Yid. I would have ended up in public school, and this. So he says, for me, and for Klal Yisrael, it's a Yom Tov. You think it's a person in Russia, you think he just came off the boat. No, if the tzaddik didn't come, I would have ended up in a public school. So he took that story personally. For him, the story of what happened to the Rebbe affected his life. So I just want to tell you how graphic he is. So if you know him a little, in Lebanon. I said, Fatih Yassel, I say that story that you said you're going to be in public school. He says, what public school? I'll be on drugs. If not with and he's a Chassidish Yid. What's the point? The point is like this. And I want to give you guys a major yashikayach. For me to be a frum Yid, I don't deserve any credit because I live in Muncie. I was 30 years in Minnesota, and now I live in Muncie. Muncie, New York is. We live. When you open the door, it's full of Yidden, and why not? When you see what's good, why don't you want to be what's good? But when you live somewhere where there's so many nisyonis, there are so many challenges. You are the real people. There's a Gemara in Masechta Psachim. The Gemara in Masechta Psachim says like this: Shloisha machriz aleim HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chol yom. There are 3 types of people that Hashem makes announcements every day. He says, "Hooray, hooray! These people deserve extra credit." This is what the Gemara says: Shloisha HaKadosh Baruch Hu machriz aleim b'chol yom. Number 1, Ravak b'krachim ve'enei chayta. Ravak b'krachim means a single man floating around in a big city, beaches, floating around. I've got to wait to the point. My uncle's nephew, huh? And he has a lot of challenges. And
your ideas of chet
a guy who has challenges. And he holds strong. And he's the gibar.
Yeah.
And he overcomes all his temptations. He deserves credit. And Hashem every day says, Machriz Aleim. He says, those are the people who deserve credit. The second group, says the Gemara, a poor man who finds something on the street, and he doesn't make calculations. Ooh, I could use this. He knows it's an Aveda. He knows somebody else lost it. He will not keep it and give it back, despite the fact that he could use it and he needs it. And the third thing is, a rich man, when he gives tzedakah, when he gives meiser, hush hush. He gives it. He doesn't need signs. He doesn't need any credit. You're going like this, as I'm saying this. You don't need credit. So now. So what are the 3 things? Let's think about these 3 things. Three things a person has is nisyonis. Everybody has the nisyonis. Everybody has challenges. For some people, it's not to wake up in the morning to daven. For other people, it's to steal. For other people, it's to hang out on the beach and whatever. Every person. If Hashem did not want us to have nisyonis, He would have made me a malach. And we are stronger than a malach. A malach are robots. Big deal to be a malach. There is no big deal to be a malach. The big deal is to be here on the Kiki Wiki. What's it called there? And be Shomer Shabbos. Come to shul. Come to learn. HaKadosh Baruch Hu machriz aleim. When upstairs nobody is going to say, yippee yay, in Muncie you're good. In Muncie, if you're not good, slap slap. Over here,